Peridot looks like something the Grinch would wear. We took the stone that was just a green stone, not very impressive, and we cut it into something that's truly amazing and beautiful stone. Hey guys, how's it going? So today I want to cut this beautiful peridot into a nice little Christmas gift for my sister. I like peridot around Christmas time because, well, the greens, but also kind of reminds me of the Grinch. And let's hope that we make something that the Grinch wouldn't mind stealing himself. One of the first things we're going to have to do is get the right piece of rough. Already got it here. Get our design, which we're going to do. Next thing we're going to do after that is we have to dop the rough. Already did that. Now it's time to do the girdle. And for these round stones like this, the girdle always the first step for me, and that's because it gives us our set depth for the stone, and we can kind of see how big this thing's going to look once we're done with it. So once I get to go ahead and start cutting the girdle on the 600 grit lap, you'll see that it winds down and it starts to form a nice round circular form. Then we're going to start moving to the 1200 grit and just polish it up all the way to the 50,000 grit. So the 1200, the 8,000, the 50,000. And I don't know if we hit the girdle with the cerium oxide. You really don't have to do it, because after the 50,000 grit it looks fine, and the girdle is going to be so tiny anyways that nobody's really going to see it. I mean, like, I think it's 0.1 or 0.2 millimeters. You know, it's pretty tiny. Then after you do that, you're going to have to change your, it's called an angle, but for some reason I want to say the angle of attack. I guess it's just my old Marine Corps brain putting it into things that are more fun for me. But yeah, you're going to have to put it in a different angle. And this is going to be more of a steeper angle. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to start cutting our pavilion. The pavilion is usually the bottom of the stone. It's where that nice big point comes from. You're rarely ever going to see the pavilion, but that's because the pavilion's there for that light to bounce back. So whenever the light goes through the top of the table, it needs to bounce off of those facets for the pavilion and bounce back up. And that's where you kind of get those different glints and everything whenever you rotate the stone. But we're going to cut through the pavilion here, and we're going to do our different pavilion cuts. It's literally, we're going to go through the same process. 600, 2000, which is our blue plate, our 8000, our yellow plate, our 50,000, which is our black plate, and then the cerium oxide, which is our white plate. And as you keep cutting, you need to wipe the stone off throughout every plate, and you kind of need to inspect your plate, inspect your stone, make sure you got all the dust off, because if you just so happen to leave a little bit of material, rough dust, even if a diamond popped off the plate, if you leave that on the stone for the next plate, when you cut on that next plate, it's going to leave humongous gouges that you're going to have to go back to the previous plate and cut back out again. And that really does ruin the good time you're having in faceting. A lot of times these stones take a long time to do, especially for a novice like myself. And I really do hope my sister enjoys her gift. Once we get that pavilion cut, and we get those multiple facets cut in the pavilion, which you'll see here as we keep going along the steps here. I tried to be very proactive when it comes to filming a lot of the sections and kind of showing you the stone as it transforms. And that's something I really love about faceting, is I get to watch it step by step transform into something that it was not before. And to know that you did it by hand, you're doing this with a stone, you know what I mean? It's a piece of the earth. I mean, while people did facet in the past and things like that, it was a lot different than what it is today. I don't know, it just feels like you kind of got a connection with the past, you know what I mean? It feels more, I don't want to say primal. It gives this weird sense of satisfaction. You're like, I'm doing this piece of peridot is probably pretty daggum old, and here I am working on it, and it's waited all this time, and hopefully I can turn it into what it wants to become, or what we want it to become. But nevertheless, we're going to go through the steps. And then once we're done with the pavilion side, we have to do the transfer. Now, I will be honest, the transfer is probably the scariest part for me, because you're going to glue up on the transfer jig both sides right now, and you put the pavilion side into this little cone dop, and it's actually concave pretty deep. So that way you can put glue in there and you can have the most surface area with that glue grabbing onto that stone and hopefully hold it in there tight. But one of my problems is I've had in the past is that I tend to overheat the stones when I take the blowtorch to the stone, or not the stone, but the one side of the dot, which is the side that we just got done using. I tend to overheat it. And what happens when you overheat it is you tend to not only weaken the bond on one side but both sides. So let's say you tap it and one side falls off, but you also kind of skew it to the other side. The glue comes a little weaker of a bond. Maybe it pops off while you're cutting the crown side of the faceted stone. So it's a little more nerve-wracking, and cutting the crown in general is a lot more nerve-wracking because you've already got a pavilion side and however long that took you to do, and now you're worried that at any moment this thing could just pop off, and that's all that time wasted, and you're gonna have to come back and recut it all over again. So it's a little nerve-wracking, I ain't gonna lie. But what we're going to do is we're going to take some heat to the dop and we're going to blowtorch it, wrap a wet paper towel or around the stone and the dop that we want to keep the stone attached to. Hopefully that wet paper towel with the cold water will absorb that heat and not transfer it over to the glue. And I put a rag down in the sink. That way it catches that dop when you knock it off, right? We don't want it to go down the sink. Those are pretty valuable. To be caught in any plumbing for you to have to take apart and then put back, go digging through. It's just easier this way, Once the transfer's done, once the original dop is off the stone, we can start cutting our crown facets. We're going to go through the same exact process that we did for our original facets. So 600, 1200, 8,000, 50,000, and then cerium oxide. We're going to cut each individual rows of facets as well. And why we try to keep everything pretty much locked in and similar throughout the stone, because if one side's more shiny, let's say you do a little bit more on one side than you do the other side, and once we're done cutting through it, we see what has took us so long. I'm really happy with it. I hope y'all are happy with it too. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff to help us out. If you got any suggestions for future videos that involves lapidary, anything like that, be sure to suggest them, man. I am all ears. I want to know what y'all want to watch, and I want to try to provide it to you. But also, if y'all got any cool projects you want to see, let me know, because I want to do some fun stuff. And if I can do some fun stuff with y'all coming along for the ride, that'd be awesome. As it warms up a little bit, I do plan on going out in the shop and live streaming us cutting some. I may even live stream us faceting some as well. So join us along for that as well. We'll see you later. Take care. God bless and be safe.